What if there was a place with all the zip of Nuka-Cola?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Fallout 4's DLC Nuka World. My name's Camel, and this video is going to be a walkthrough guide in which I will show us how to acquire and hopefully use the rare gun known as the Acid Soaker. And to acquire this weapon, you will of course need the Nuka World DLC installed. So to get this weapon, we need to come to the Nuka-Cade. This can be found in Nuka Town, USA, just across the road from the parlor. Once inside, if we head to the back middle of the Nuka Arcade, we will find the Nuka-Cade Prize Terminal. Once here, we want to go to Spend Tickets and go to Prizes 5. In here we will find the Acid Soaker for sale. As you can see, it will cost 6,250 Nuka-Cade tickets. If you don't already have them and you're not sure how to get that many tickets, I've got a guide on how to get lots of tickets quite quickly. You can click on the annotation on screen or a link will be in the description as well. But of course, once we get that many tickets, we want to buy the Acid Soaker. Once we purchase it, go up to the giant smiley cappy and out of its mouth will fall the prize we just bought, in this case the Acid Soaker. Now, although when we pick it up it does the whole "whoa, you just got a unique item" thing, it's not actually unique. As we saw before, there was 3 for sale. Now, the Acid Soaker cannot be modified at all with weapon mods, so we won't be looking at that. But when we go to a chemistry station, we can make the ammunition, the Acid Soaker ammo. Now, this ammunition has blown me away in all kinds of directions. Acid concentrate is what the Acid Soaker uses as ammunition, and as we can see, the requirements to make it are insane. The clues in the title, boys. The development team was tripping balls on acid when they decided what materials you needed to make one ammunition. This is 1 projectile's worth of ammunition. 20 acid, 2 adhesive, and 8 glass for 1 single projectile. It's really mental. Straight away from this fact alone, the weapon is definitely not worth it. But let's push on and inspect it further. So when it is reloaded, it has an ammunition capacity of 20, and every time we shoot it, we will see the liquid in the vial actually goes down. So that's a cute little animation. Now, before we look at the weapon's base stats, as always, I have reduced my character's special attribute stats to 1. I also have no bobblehead, perk, or magazine effects applied to my character. What this means is we will be seeing the absolute minimum base stats of Acid Soaker. So, the Acid Soaker. It inflicts a base poison damage of 10 straight away. It uses the acid concentrate as ammunition, which as we know consumes a huge amount of materials. It has a fire rate of 66, its range is 35, accuracy of 89, a weight of 3 pounds, and a value of 125 caps. And as we can see up the top, Acid Soaker inflicts ongoing acid damage and temporarily reduces damage resistance. Of course, reducing the damage resistance of your enemy and not you. So this is a really weird gun. Its damage is also only affected by the Lone Wanderer perk. Its damage is not increased by the Gunslinger perk, it's not increased by the Rifleman perk, it's not increased by the Heavy Gunner perk, and it's not increased by the Commando perk, nor is it increased by the Bloody Mess perk, only the Lone Wanderer perk. And once you do get that perk, you can get its damage up to a whopping 12 poison damage. So you'll definitely be writing home to your family about this one, about how shit it is. Well, to be honest, it's not that bad. On the face of it, it looks really abysmal. But I suppose in theory craft, it could have a couple of interesting uses. Although it inflicts an immediate 10 poison damage, the ongoing acid damage I've calculated to be between 40 and 50 points of acid or poison damage, and this seems to be inflicted over 5 seconds. I can confirm that this ongoing acid damage does not stack if you were to shoot the same enemy twice within a couple of seconds. Again, it does not stack, it just reapplies it. And the other half of the effect temporarily reduces damage resistance. Unfortunately, I don't know by how much, but in theory, if it was a fairly hefty number that it reduced your enemy's armor resistance by, you could say shoot them with the Acid Soaker, bring their armor rating down all that way, and then shoot them with another gun. This would be particularly effective against, say, an enemy in a suit of power armor. The Acid Soaker in a scenario like this would be an excellent way to get through a substantial amount of their damage resistance. But again, that's if the reduction is a big number. Unfortunately, at this point, we just don't know. Now, physically, it's an incredibly interesting weapon. The handle, stock, and trigger seem to be based off a pre-war version of a 10mm pistol. These parts look very similar to that of the Deliverer, which of course is a salvaged pre-war 10mm pistol. But then we have the barrel, which is a completely unique piece of its own, and then of course this strange pump on the side with this huge vial filled with acidic liquid on top. We then have a tube going from the vial or reservoir into the pump into the barrel, and then a red and a yellow cable, which is quite funny because those colors are reoccurring themes with this gun. They easily could have called it the ketchup ketchup and mustard gun, as that is exactly what it reduces your enemies to, a big steaming pile of mustard and ketchup. As noted before, every time you shoot a projectile, the amount of liquid in the vial or reservoir actually goes down, so that's a really cool touch. And the liquid also has physics applied to it. For example, if you run from side to side, the liquid inside the vial is going to start sloshing around. So some very nice animation touches there. So overall, in this lovely land of theorycraft, this gun might be useful in some situations, but the material cost of making 1 unit of ammunition is ridiculous, and definitely not worth what you get out of it. So although it might burn your enemies, where the acid soaker is most corrosive is to your material stockpile. And if you spray your enemies for long enough, they might just end up writing a Beatles song. And here it is, the acid soaker in action. Or should I say, in reaction. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Camel, and this has been my guide for the rare gun known as the Acid Soaker in Fallout 4's DLC Nuka World. I do hope this video helped you in understanding how to acquire the weapon and also how it could be used theoretically. If it did help you out, I think you will be very interested in clicking on the playlist button on screen. This of course will take you directly to my Fallout 4 Guides playlist, where you can select the videos you wish to watch freely. Or you can check in the description, where it will be frequently updated with links to new Fallout 4 guides that I upload. If you do plan on keeping tabs on the Acid Soaker, please feel free to follow me on Twitter. The link can also be found in the description, or you can search Camelworks on Twitter. And with all that said, I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very shortly in the 6th dimension. I'll see you there in a second.